Jeffrey Lord, Trump defender on CNN, is fired for using Nazi slogan. Because of course it's somebody that defends Trump. Think about it. On the right side of the spectrum, you've got the actual literal neo-Nazis. You've got people on the right that think it's funny to use that sort of stuff to try and trigger people on the left. Then you've got people on the left that are dressing up and pretending to be Nazis to insult and accuse people on the right. Again, the side with the actual Nazis. The actual KKK. I'm just saying, so I'm not shocked at all. Next, you're going to tell me Roger Stone's an idiot. Jeffrey Lord, the indefatigable defender of President Trump, whose advocacy turned him into an unlikely political celebrity, was fired by CNN on Thursday after a convoluted Twitter exchange in which he evoked, mockingly he said, a Nazi salute. Mr. Lord received the news by telephone while on his way to CNN's Manhattan studio in a town car provided by the network, which ferried him from his home near Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. After Mr. Lord, 66, learned that his contract had been severed, the car turned around. I didn't have to walk. I thanked him for that, he said in a telephone interview from the road. Of course. Dude, you're 66. Even ain't nobody gonna make a 66-year-old man walk back that far. While Mr. Lord was often castigated by critics for his relentless lobbying on Mr. Trump's behalf, he was once rebuked on air by Anderson Cooper in particularly crude terms. It was a social media squabble that led to his ouster. Mr. Lord had recently accused Angelo Carusone, president of the liberal watchdog site Media Matters, for emulating fascists by calling for sponsors to boycott Sean Hannity's Fox News show. When Mr. Carusone responded on Thursday on Twitter, Mr. Lord posted the words Sieg Heil, a response that he said was meant to mock Carusone's behavior. Well, let's see. Hannity is a puppet for Trump, who is an immoral, ideologically, ethically bankrupt, morally corrupt individual. So, yeah, I can see why. I mean, I'm not a fan of the far left. I'm hard left either, but I agree. CNN executives did not view it that way. Nazi salutes are indefensible, the network said in a terse statement. Jeffrey Lord is no longer with the network. And that's true. As someone who lost a great uncle in World War II, absolutely indefensible. That's one of the few things I tend to not joke about, and I will admit I have a pretty f***ed up sense of humor. So, there's that. Mr. Lord, a veteran of the Reagan White House, shocker, I know, became CNN's first paid pro-Trump contributor in July 2015. Mr. Trump, then a long-shot Republican candidate, had recommended Mr. Lord after complaining that the network's panelists all seemed to dislike him. CNN said it had already been considering Mr. Lord for a job. Yeah, no wonder of course everybody disliked Trump. Like I said, he's a morally bankrupt, ethically corrupt, he's a horrible human being. Of course nobody likes him. Surprised he's been married 3 times. Must be all that money. At the time, Mr. Lord was living with his mother and occasionally writing magazine pieces. Soon, he was ubiquitously on television, admired by Mr. Trump's supporters as a rare mainstream voice for their candidate and ridiculed by others for unwavering praise of him. Mr. Trump was a fan, once calling Mr. Lord on his cell phone while he was on air. Mr. Lord excused himself and then reported back to a stunned fellow panelist what Mr. Trump had to say. What kind of idiot answers his cell phone while he's on the air? Oh my. I'd have kicked his off right then. But, that's why I'm not a television executive and all that. Recently, however, some aides to the president had grown impatient with Mr. Lord's mild on-screen manner. Although he was viewed within the White House as a thoughtful analyst, Mr. Trump's team wanted CNN to have more combative pundits represent the president's views, according to two senior administration officials who requested anonymity to describe private conversations. Really? More combative. I guess he's trying to help CNN. He was trying to help CNN get better ratings. So, yeah. So much for that fake news. In a phone call on Thursday, Mr. Lord sounded sanguine about his sudden unemployment, saying that he loved CNN and respected Jeff Zucker, the network's president. Still, he said that he found his firing incredibly ironic. I'm mocking people who are using bully tactics in the style of fascists and Nazis to take people off the air, and I'm the one who gets taken off the air, he said. Of course you did, because you used a Nazi salute, you idiot. Mr. Lord said that he had already received an inquiry from a prospective employer and mentioned an interest in appearing on conservative talk radio. He said he was also close to finalizing a deal for a book about the president and the fights he has with various forces, the tentative title, The Lion at the Gate. Wait, various forces? That sounds like it would be in a book by an evangelical Christian, the forces of evil, which some would argue are Trump. But that's not what this is about. That's not why I'm doing this, so, The experience of the past 2 years, Mr. Lord said, had been surreal. I'm recognized all over the place, he said. In Manhattan this week, he added, I was stopped 6 or 7 times by people wanting selfies with me. Did he ever suspect that his support for Mr. Trump might lead to such fame? I wouldn't be surprised, to be quite honest with you, but, he'll say he didn't. I've written 7 unpublished novels, Mr. Lord said, laughing. I couldn't have made this up if I tried. And let me guess, they're unpublished for a reason. They suck, I bet. So, yeah. Let it be a lesson. Use a Nazi slogan, you'll get fired. And honestly, rightfully so. I have no sympathy for someone who uses a Nazi slogan and then gets fired and cries about it. Because the simple fact is, it's not okay to do stuff like that. Because doing something like that, you're making light of something that killed tens of millions of people. Holy crap, you've made it through to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, I really do appreciate it. If you'd like to see more, be sure to subscribe down below. Be sure to leave a like and a comment, let me know what you thought of the video. And now, roll the outro.